Hi my YouTube family, this is Melody from Home Garden and Fashion. I thank you so much for being here today. Today we're going to have a wonderful time together. Hi, this is Melody from Home Garden and Fashion. Welcome to Home Garden and Fashion. Today's story is a really nice story, and I hope you all are peaceful and calm and ready for your story, and you all have slipped into your warm, comfortable jammies and all tucked in inside a bed and with your sleeping tea, and I will be there with my story. So let's begin with few gentle breaths, and at the count of 4, let's take in a nice calming breath, and at the count of 8, release it. We're going to do it 8 times. So let's begin our breathing exercise first, because when we breathe slowly before sleeping, it calms us down a lot. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So today's story name is Molly and the Strange Mountain. So, there's a girl named Molly, and Molly was just an average girl. Molly had a wonderful talent, which is for singing, and she loved to sing. And singing made her really happy, very happy. Molly was born and brought up in an area where still that time wasn't so advanced. So as Molly got her childhood education, school education, and became high school graduate, and then she went to college, and her parents they arranged for her marriage, and at that time there were still arranged marriages, so she had an arranged marriage. And as with most of the arranged marriages, learn after the marriage people learn to adjust with the situation. Sometimes they could adjust, sometimes they couldn't, but still they stay in the marriage. As back in the days, this was kind of like that. So Molly had 2 children, and she stayed in the marriage even though she wasn't very happy, because Molly had this dream from her childhood to be a singer, to be a most famous singer. And she did love to sing, and she sang pretty well. But her parents, back in the days, did not think that singing was a good career for a woman. Singing wasn't looked up so greatly, so her parents just did not like singing. And after marriage, Molly's husband wasn't supportive for anything, so let alone singing. So she just stayed home, cleaned, cooked, and took care of the kids. But inside her heart, there was something always aching, and whatever time she found, she would just sing. Especially, she was very, very fascinated with the singing legend Lata Mangeshkar, and she would just sing her songs, and she did copy her songs very well, and she would sing. So this was Molly's dream. One time, what happened was Molly was very sad due to some family issues as her children grew up. Then children didn't needed mom so much. They got busy with their own lives. And for Molly, the husband was never there for her as like mentally he was never there for her, so she couldn't count on him to be there even when she needed. When the children grew up, that time he became even more distant. So Molly had nothing on her spare time but to um, just she used to go to a old age forest, and she would go there and sit under a tree and just sing and sing. And many people would go by and would wonder why this woman would sit under a tree and sing. But they did like the way she sang. Her voice was very beautiful, and this gave her a lot of peace and calm in her heart. In her heart, she knew that in some life she was a singer, and she meant to sing, and singing brought her a lot of joy. Nothing in this world brought her joy than singing. So one day when she was sitting down and singing, there was this little mountain near that trees, and wasn't really big, but just a little mountain. So as she was singing and she was looking into the mountain, so while she was very artistic also, so while she was singing, she took a little piece of stone, and on the stone she started painting. And so uh, she did the sky and everything, and then in the stone she made a little door. So she kind of created in her imaginary world that mountain had a door. And Molly didn't know that that night when she was drawing, it was a couple of nights before the full moon, but the day she actually sat down and started finishing her drawing, she had this mountain. When she was looking at the mountain, she drew the mountain, and then she did the trees, and then she did the sky, and then she did in the mountain, and between the trees and the sky there's this door, and she created the door. And then it was full moon at the night time, and she looked at the door, and she made a door knob, and then she took her hand to the doorknob, and she was just playing. So while playing to the doorknob, she knock knock, she said knock knock, knock knock, knock knock. As she did knock knock 3 times, she saw the stone, the rock she was painting, the rock flew away. As the rock flew away, and Molly was so astonished by this. She started chasing the rock which was flying. As she chased the rock went near the mountain. Mountain wasn't very far away, it was just close by. But nobody ever went there. But some reason Molly was desperate because her children were gone and they were busy in their life. The husband never spoke with her, and she felt as if this was like she had such a lonely life that she needed something. So she went so she went to the rock, and as she followed the rock, she went near the mountain. As she went near the mountain door, which she knocked 3 times, the rock went and got stuck at the mountain. And then she went to grab the rock wouldn't come out, and the rock slowly spread throughout the body of the mountain, and rock became a door. And there was a real door handle where she could do knock knock. So she took the door handle, which supposedly the rock, and then she knocked 3 times. As she knocked 3 times, the mountain opened wide, and built inside there was this beautiful magical world. This world was so magical, and there was all kinds of musical instruments, a big studio, and it keeps flashing lights saying, "Welcome, Molly, this studio is for you." And she went in there, and she saw there were big television, and on those televisions, Lata Mangeshkar songs were playing, and she was so mesmerized. She was so happy. She couldn't contain her happiness. She kneeled down with her hands and knees, and she thanked the universe, thanked the God for giving her this treasure which she wanted all her life. She wanted nothing more than to sing all her life. And she felt like as if she traveled to another dimension, another life where she has seen all the stage and all the instrument, and she went to each and every instrument, and as she touched it, she started playing so magical, melodious music. The music kind of was mesmerizing. It was so amazing. Molly didn't know who is this person, who is singing, who is playing all these musical instruments. They were all playing the musical instrument, but there was no one was playing. It was playing by itself. And Molly went to the stage. The stage was amazing, beautiful, big stage with big microphone. And she stood in front of it, and she sang her heart out, and she sounded just like Lata Mangeshkar. And she sang and sang and sang. And then she realized, oh my God, I need to go home. But she did not want to leave this place because this is what she wanted all her life. So as she coming out, she thanked the magical mountain. She cried, she prayed, she said, "Thank you, magical mountain. You have given me my dreams, my hopes, all I wanted all my life, a place where I can escape, where I can sing, where I can remember my past. I know all this instrument, I know all this music, I know the tunes, I know the lyrics. This is me, this is who I used to be, a biggest singer. Thank you for bringing me to the dimension which was known to me. And I know that I've been put into this wrong dimension where nothing that I do satisfies me, nothing that I do bring hope or joy. I feel so stuck in this dimension, and there is just no escape." So she thanked the Universe thanked the mountain. At this, the mountain spoke, say, "You welcome, my child. You can come back anytime you want to your beautiful magical land." And Molly was so content, so happy. She came home, and this was almost 10 o'clock night. Her husband was furious. "Molly, where were you? I was worried sick." Molly was, "I'm so sorry. I went to visit a friend and I lost the track of time, so I'm late." After that, Molly planned her schedule. She was so happy, as if she has found her youth, as if she has found the love of her life. The love of her life, the youth, everything was her music. Music was everything to her. And now she had a purpose to live, and she would wait eagerly for her husband to go to work, and she would finish all the work early in the morning. She would wake up 5 o'clock and finish all her work by 8 in the morning, and then she will leave and go to the magical mountain and go to that door, and she will knock, knock, knock 3 times, and the door will open, and Molly will enter to a new world, to a dimension which she knew that it existed, and she was there, and she was the singer, and she enjoyed so much, and now she could do it. And there were other people who were audience, and she saw these people. She didn't remember them, but she remembered clearly singing, knowing the songs, knowing the lyrics. She was so happy, beyond imagination. She was happy. So gradually her husband started noticing changes on her. So he thought that Molly was having an affair, because she was so happy, and she was just a different person. She was not the same person. So her husband got suspicious. So one day he went to work, but he actually did not go to work. He was hiding in home. As soon Molly finished all her work, and by 9 o'clock, her husband usually went to work around 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, she got everything ready, took shower, got all dressed and everything, and she left home. And he followed her. And then she went to the mountain, and she knocked 3 times, and then she vanished, and he could not go in, because see, that place was not for him. Her husband's name was Daryl. That place was not for Daryl. That place was just for Molly, because he used to be a singer, and Daryl wasn't in the picture on that dimension. That dimension, Molly was alone, so he could not join her to that dimension. So at this, he didn't know what to think. She vanished, and he just waited there to see what goes on and what happens, if he's dreaming or if he went crazy. So he waited there, and then he saw around 4 o'clock. He waited. He saw it around 4 o'clock, and Molly came out of the mountain. And then she went home, so he followed her. He usually came home around 5, so he walked into home around 5 o'clock, and he was so angry. He said, "Where were you?" And at this, he said, "Oh, I went to see a friend." And he was like, "I don't think so, Molly. I do not think that you went to see a friend." And then she said, "What do you mean, dear?" I said, "Well, I followed you, and I saw you went to that mountain, And then there was a doorknob where you knock 3 times, and then the mountain opened and you went in. I could not go in, and around 4 o'clock you came out. So you see, you did not go see your friend. So what is it? Are you a witch? At this, Molly said, "No, I'm not a witch." Then how could you go inside a mountain and come out when the mountain is just a rock? Then Molly hesitated, but then she explained everything and she told him that it was another dimension where she traveled, and he did not believe her. So for this, he said, "Okay, if you're going to act crazy, then I don't want anything to do with you, and just we need to separate because this relationship is over." So Molly didn't feel bad because she has found what she wanted all this time, and she knew it's going to be hard because she really didn't have a job to support herself. So she said, "Okay." Then she went to look for a job and she found a job which didn't pay much, but she took the job, and then she would work all day from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then she would go to the mountain and she would sing and live there happily ever after. So the moral to the story is, when we do travel to the other dimension or to whatever that we were in our past life, the present life cannot continue anymore because we cannot walk on 2 dimensions. It has to be at one time, at one dimension. So as Molly found her previous dimension, since she was not happy in the present situation, and she has that power, she had that power to tap into her previous dimension and know about it. So the universe cannot continue to give her 2 dimensions, and that's the law of the universe. We all can live, work, function in only one dimension, not in 2 dimensions at a time. It does not work that way. It creates many problems. So Molly had 2 choices, whether not to go to that mountain, inside the mountain, and go back to the other dimension, or just leave her husband, which is the present dimension. So she did that, and then after that, they lived happily ever after because she got what she really wanted all her life, singing. So sometimes we are still in this dimension, we feel not fit at all, and we feel like we are still attached to our previous life, at least things from this previous life, and that's the time we feel out of place, out of balance. So in order to bring balance, we need to choose one. We need to choose whether this dimension or the previous one or a next one. This is sort of like a magical story, but this is our reality too. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share the video, and I will see you with many, many more. Hi, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share this video. Thank you. May God bless you all.